growing up in the 80s, we didn't have TikTok and YouTube. We had Sunday morning cartoons. And some people, I think, thought they were real. My dad was a brick mason, and I would sometimes help him during the summer. And on big jobs, he would have to hire additional masons and additional helpers to do, because there's a lot of work to be done. And we would have to build scaffolds. And as you build a scaffold, you layer them up. That'd be like one scaffold. So when you get two scaffolds high, you can still throw your mud and material up there. So you imagine that being about three scaffolds high, you would throw brick and you can transfer your mud up there with a shovel. You just about hit it. You put your shovel in the mud and you throw it up there. But when you start getting 4 and 5 high, you can't do that anymore. So we have to rig up another system. And we can still throw brick up there for the most part. A lot of times we'd have to get there early and get everything all stocked out so they'd have it ready. But what we would do is we would take a pulley system. We attach it on the far side of it, and have a pulley here with a rope, a lot bigger than this, but you kind of get the idea. And we'd take that rope around a pulley and have that thing would swing out backwards and forwards, and we'd attach that to a bucket, and there'd be somebody on top of the scaffold that would take the bucket and dump it and send it back. You send it back down. Well, at the end of the day, when he's getting ready to get out there, I guess this kid watched too many cartoons. He thought he was going to take an elevator down. So instead of climbing down the scaffold like someone normal, he decides he's going to stick his fat ass in this bucket and lower himself down there with a rope. So this scaffold here is already front loaded with material. And you got the masons, behind you. They're laying their brick. So he puts one foot in the bucket, holds the rope. He's got the rope in his hands, and as soon as he leaves the edge there, the whole scaffold just flings forward. And he slips a little bit, and all of a sudden he grabs back, and it swings back forward. Now, my dad and everybody on the mason, they're hanging on the side of the wall. They're holding on the wall like, suckerfish in an aquarium. Hey, what's wrong with you? You're an idiot. They're hollering in. So they finally get down there. It's actually swung and messed up the work that was done that day. So they basically have lost, hours and hours of work. So you can guess what happened next. My dad hit the road. You're fired. Hit the damn road.
You're despicable.
And that was the end of him ever helping my dad at work. We had another guy do something crazy one time. We had to set up, you lay foundations. A lot of those are laid with, 8-inch cinder block or 12-inch cinder block. And you'd have to, of course, you stock that up the same way you do brick. So he thought he could put more in a wheelbarrow by stacking it all. You put more weight on the front of it, so it's easier to lift. So he thought he's going to put a whole bunch of it up. He can just barely see over this. So he's picking up the wheelbarrow. He's all locked up, picking the wheelbarrow. He can just barely pick it up anyway, apparently. And he goes down a hill, and when he does, he hits a brick. And when that brick hits this tire, that wheelbarrow, he just flings over like he's a human catapult. Anyway, luckily he didn't get hurt, but he never did that again. He made sure, my dad would say, make your road when you push your material. There's a reason for that, but you can't cheat when it comes to putting stuff in a wheelbarrow. Anyway, y'all have a nice day.